I want you to know this is not just about drugs coming across the border. It isn't even about illegal immigration. It is about Hezbollah and Hamas and unspeakable evil and violence. First of all, there is extreme and horrific violence coming from the drug cartels in Mexico. And the violence and the kidnappings and the manner that they are killing is being influenced by Middle Eastern terrorists. What are we seeing? We're seeing extreme torture, beheadings, dismembered bodies, skinning people alive, body parts sent to police and communities, all just to make a statement. 2, there's Hezbollah and Hamas. They are using Mexico as a staging ground. Historically, this has happened before. Extreme violence and drug cartels in Mexico. We know this, but I don't think you know how extreme. Hezbollah and Hamas, you've heard about this, but you may dismiss, our government is worried about sovereign citizens, but you may dismiss Mexico being used as a staging ground. Last century, foreign countries tried to use Mexico as a staging ground. They've done it before. They used it to attack the U.S. Now the left would have you believe that this is some sort of fantasy problem, dreamt up by some racist conservative just to stop people from color from crossing our border. Nothing could be further from the truth, and they are a danger to you and your children that every day you allow them to say it. Tell them to grow up. It is time to stop the madness. It's time to have a real discussion and to tell the truth. I'd like somebody, Chris Matthews or Brett Baer or John King at the next debate, when they ask, what about compassion? I'd like somebody, anybody, that's standing up running for president to say, compassion? Well, this, sir, is why, and hold up one of these photos. It would stop all debate just to show one of the photos we're going to show you tonight. All debate. 3, the enemies are coming across the Mexican border. It is not unprecedented for our enemies to try to come across the Mexican border to do us harm. Clear back in the progressive era of 1917, during the First World War, the United States intercepted what's called the Zimmermann telegram. It was a message intercepted from German foreign minister to the German ambassador in Mexico that proposed an alliance with Mexico in the event of a war with the United States. Mexico would reclaim Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona, and was expected to persuade Japan to join the Central Powers. Can you imagine? Boy, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Except it's not Germany, it's Iran. The publication of the message did little to enhance Germany in the eyes of the American citizens, you think? Americans just didn't warm up to the idea of war with Germany, while Mexico attempted to reclaim the southwestern U.S. Then came World War II, and another infiltration attempt. Same thing. Gain extra intelligence was their goal. Germany organized an espionage network in Mexico and other Latin American countries. They did it. They relayed the information about the U.S. to Germany by radio and other means. Apparently, we had a problem with that. Americans are so picky with that sometimes, but not this one, not this time, for some reason. We told you that there was an Iranian plot to kill the Saudi ambassador in the United States by hiring an assassin from a Mexican drug cartel. It happened. It's all there. Read about it. Go Google search it. The fourth reason you need to know this, fires are being deliberately set on our border. This is something I warned about, I think, in 2001, maybe 2002. Right after 9/11, the next summer, there was a problem on the in California with all these fires, and I said, we got to watch out. This is a tool, if they ever figure it out. They have. They're destroying land, homes, communities in southern Arizona and causing major ecological damage to the wilderness areas. When responding firefighters show up, they're being shot at along with others who are trying to protect them. Did you know that our firefighters need to have protectors? These fires are being set to cause a diversion for illegal activities. Also, Islamic prayer rugs have been found on the border. In the book, In the Memory of Our Martyrs, you find that they have a book that's celebrating the lives of suicide bombers. That was found last January in Arizona by a U.S. Border Patrol agent who was patrolling a route known for smuggling illegal immigrants and drugs. Border Patrol stats show that 2010, 59,000 OTMs other than Mexicans. They used to be called WAPs, without papers. Now we're worried about OTMs other than Mexican. They were caught on the border, including 663 from special interest countries. Ooh, special interest, that sounds good. That means countries that are on the State Department's state sponsors of terrorism list. Iran, Syria, Sudan, Somalia, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, and Cuba. According to statistics, for every illegal caught, on average, 3 make it safely across. That should make you feel all warm and cozy inside, doesn't it? Maybe 2,000 people or so from countries on our terrorist watch list have crossed into our border each and every year. For how long? 10 years? Don't worry. Don't worry. The Obama administration and the FBI are all over the sovereign citizen tax dodger situation. They're all over it. They're watching because those people are dangerous, and the FBI is looking at them like hawks. Meanwhile, Obama claims he has secured the border and placed more agents there than ever before. But the fact is the border agents there are being abandoned. We will tell you a story tonight that will blow your mind. They're not trained sufficiently. They're not equipped. Their hands are being tied, and more are getting injured. They can't catch the smugglers. And environmentalism is hurting their ability to protect. They're creating now protected wilderness areas on U.S. soil at the border in the name of protecting wildlife. What it's doing is allowing the smugglers to operate there without the threat of being caught by Border Patrol agents. The smugglers end up trashing the wildlife area anyway, destroying the land. At the end of this hour, I want you to ask yourself this question. How dangerous are the politicians who talk about how we must be compassionate by not worrying about the border? How dangerous are they when they talk about how you just hate people? And you should focus on breaking up families. Where is the compassion for the illegal aliens who are being beaten, robbed, raped, and dismembered by thugs that they're falling in with? Where is the compassion for the people that live on the border on either side? How about for the lucky ones who actually make it across the border alive? Is it the compassionate thing to encourage them to continue pursuing a life where they are not free? To pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness to the fullest extent? Don't fall into the trap. Don't fall into the trap that everybody who comes across our border are just good families. And don't fall into the trap that everybody who comes across the border are all just drug smugglers. Neither is true. But it takes an adult to figure out the difference. We have told you about the buses that have been stopped, the kidnapped Americans that never come home, the people who are dragged off of the buses, and then a sledgehammer is taken to one person's head, and then they look up and say, "Who's next? Or are you all coming with us?" What happens to those people? Some people are dirtbags. Some people are innocent and they're not. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When you see what's being done to people, compassion would say, do everything you can to stop it. Tell us, Mr. Politician, where is the compassion for those that will lose their lives trying to protect a border? Well, their government shoots them in the back. Where is the compassion for those that will lose their lives in fear of drug lords' chaos? Where is the compassion for those Americans that will lose their lives because you didn't watch the border? And now we have terrorists in our country. Over the past 5 years, Mexican President Felipe Calderon has been waging a government battle against the drug cartels. Since then, close to 48,000 people have died as a result. Think of that. That's bigger than the hometown I grew up in. You'll keep hearing tonight, these cartels are vicious Mexicans. The voters head to the polls later this year to elect the country's next president. And what happens? One of the frontrunners says he's going to pull the military from fighting the drug cartels. Not sure why voters think that's a good idea. Well, if Calderon loses, what does it mean for the brutal violence taking place along our border? One of the questions that our experts will debate tonight on the Real News from the Blaze at 7 p.m. Eastern, right after this show. The rest of this program is for the serious adult. We are joined by our experts and the photos that you need to see, I believe, if you're an adult. Next.